Who all here thinks that ISIS should be defeated by by us and everyone else in the country? You got the Chinese, you got the Russians, you got everybody working together in some way. And yet, we all have one common goal. Take ISIS off the map and restore peace. If there is any. Because, people in the Middle East have been fighting for decades, even ages, since Roman times. And one thing is clear, that with all this technology, people can use nuclear reactors to build nuclear bombs. They can use those things to build nuclear missiles, and the Russians, they use nuclear devices to build Scud missiles, pretty much anti-air fire missiles for taking down aircraft in some cases. But we don't have to fight each other on all fronts. Our one common goal is to defeat ISIS, and I think that personally, ISIS is not going to gain nothing from this because they think they're going to take over the White House. They think they're going to take over the world. But what do they think of it? You're just going to take. What happens if they take over the world? Then what? How are they going to maintain the order of food productions or oil or the economy or the government, for all that matter? They got all these things they don't think of. How are they going to feed the population of people? How are they going to do that? They can't, because they don't have the resources, they don't have the money, they don't have jack shit. So they hope to gain all this ground, but yet they have nothing to do for it. They have no way of paying for all the economy expenses. So, like, you got all these different countries. How are you gonna feed China's population with billions and billions of people over there? How are you gonna feed Russian population with millions of people over there too? And it's like, you can't really do anything about it, because that's the one thing the terrorists do not take into account. They want to gain power, but yet they don't think of the expenses in the economy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you got all this, you got that, you got presidency, you got all that, economy stuff, right? Government, if officials. So, like, again, someone just speaks out against them, you get shot in the head. Yeah, but really, the people do that because they don't want to be any part of that little crusade of theirs. So, and nobody ever wants to be slaves. Nobody ever does, because to be honest with you, slaves are overrated. They're overrated. That's why Lincoln, our president, of course, made the idea of making people be free, and with the help of Mark Luther King Jr., he was also part of that little party too. So one thing's for sure is that we can all agree that everybody has the right to choose, everybody has the right to make their own choices, live where they want to live, do what they want to do, and spend however much money or save however much money they want, go out to movies with girlfriends or maybe some guy friends or whatever. Everybody has the right to be free. That's why we have the freedom of speech. So we can do whatever, we can say what we want and when we want. Unlike some countries like China, they can't do that because their government won't allow it. And they can only speak certain things. They can't say puns, and that stuff. So that's the key thing that they can't do. And for me, tradition is it's important because then you show your mutual respect to the other country that say does all this food production for you. Like China, they do rice, they do chicken, they do all sorts of stuff. And rice has been around their generation since samurai times and all that era. Greeks, they do it quite differently. And Italy, well, that tradition right there goes back to the story of Rome, the Empire of Rome. And they would do taxes then. We still have they had the taxes by grain, little bitty grains during Roman times. So, we still have taxes today, only we do it by cash and cents. So there's similarities here. And you gotta look at all the aspects of what is and what are. You can't say, oh look, let's do this. We can do this here and there. No, you really can't, because what if you say you're spray painting or doing graffiti on the wall of a gym, or maybe on the wall of a highway? Authorities are going to find out about it one way or the other, so pretty much you're screwed. And that's just the way the economy works. Like, some people just think, oh, they think nothing of it. They're like, oh, look at us, we're just going to do this. Well, truth be told, I was watching the news last night, and apparently 3 idiot teenagers decided to go into a convenience store and gun down another teenage boy, supposedly, who was actually a father to a young boy or girl, whichever it was. I do not remember, but he was a father nonetheless. And apparently these 3 guys are looking at life in prison. Tough luck for them, don't you think? So, yeah, you can't really do everything. Not everything works in the world of being chaotic or murderous in their case. So, what's important is everybody has the right to do what they want, and this and that, and all that, gibberish. But the one key thing that we forget is you do not, and I repeat, you do not want to do racism. Racism is bad. It's a bad thing to do. Because, that's how the whole thing on Martin Luther King got started, too. He was the one who also supported that choice making and letting the African Americans, sit in one area wherever they wanted to sit, and whites can sit wherever they wanted to sit. It was a free country, too. So he made that part as well. And, Obama wants to win this darn war. Well, how is he going to do that with less troops on the ground? Look at George Patton, famous general throughout history. He put the troops on the ground. He put tanks on the ground. And he had a massive army at his disposal, so he could pull back, or he could choose to stand and fight. But, every leader has to make their own decisions, and as every leader would do, has to make tough decisions. Either being a general, lieutenant, or commander, or whatever you may be in high ranking. You have to make tough choices nonetheless. That's what the word leader is all about, making hard choices, following through to the mission, and all that, bunch. But, as we all say, the American dream is one big mystery. for some. Some don't even believe in the American dream. I, for one, do. And, and as ISIS, as far as they go, they want us to fear them. Well, we're not. We're Americans. We don't fear our enemies. We face them head on. And we do what is necessary to be free. There's a saying that I tend to use often on occasionally. United we stand, divided we fall. And if we fall amongst one another fighting for the wrong cause, then pretty much they've already won. But if we stand together and be united as one, we can all be free still. And we're free now. So the choice is up to each and every individual to make these choices of their own. So if you want, you can please subscribe, or you can like, whichever you want to do. You do both? Perfect. So I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.